All right, let's do it. Finally made it here. I was grilling, and the kids didn't want to let me get out of the pool, so we're back here. All right. Being greedy on this. Got in here at the bottom, pushing for 850, but that could be a stretch with this movement. Let's see if we get lucky here. Do see that it's struggling. Good evening, good evening. That other JC, what's up, brother? Took me a while to get here. Outside with the kids grilling, and Larenko in the house. All right, guys, let's try to do this. What do we got here? We got some nice green going on this trade. I'm hoping for more. Now there's going to be a pullback. The 5-minute just hit a resistance zone. It's how much of the pullback I'm going to tolerate. I don't want to take it all the way down to the 200 again. So let's see if this 20 SMA holds. Otherwise, we're going to have to close that trade. But we'll be in the green. We'll be in the green. It's a little late. It's definitely pajama trading tonight. That other JC, how you doing, brother? How was your trading today? Hope you kept the green. Good evening to everyone. A little late, but I had family stuff going on, grilling and stuff. All right, so we just hit some major resistance up here. I was hoping for the break out of this 23,000 area. Probably a little too aggressive for the evening session. We are back to my range, the 800 to 2300. NVIDIA did all that nonsense last night, and we're back right to it. So, and I'm taking a nasty flush on this trade here. I may have to close it. See if it holds here. Otherwise, we're just range bound. We're just going up and down, up and down, up and down. Mike Yusuf, how you doing, brother? Let's see if that 20 holds and we get the push that I'm looking for, which is the break out of this 23,000 area. All right, that other JC is green. Happy to hear, brother. Happy to hear. This market's choppy, man. I hope we're not in this range, this nasty range right here. Basically, we gave up everything we got. The market gave up the whole NVIDIA move right around close today, and we've been trying to pump, but not happy. So it looks like we're in this range here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then flush right back down. That would suck if it comes all the way back to my entry. I'd have to close it at that point and settle for a win somewhere around here. But again, it's been nasty from what I can see. I just opened the chart. I'm like, man, these are 20, 40 point moves here back and forth. So whatever it's trying to do, it's struggling to bounce, right? They've been trying to bounce this a couple times. 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th time to get above that 23,000 area, to get out of that range that I've been talking now for 3 weeks, right? 800 to 23,000. We came right back to it after getting excited with NVIDIA last night. And this morning, with this morning's push, we flushed all the way back down. I know we had some news. I think Trump was talking right around the close today. Yeah, today, CPI. But that was earlier. I'm surprised we're getting this chop here. There's a lot of uncertainty here. They're definitely battling this area. Because remember, we've been in this range for 3 weeks, 800 to 23,000, until last night when we broke out with NVIDIA. The NVIDIA news did not hold, though. And I mentioned that in this morning's stream. Overnight last night, after our trading, right, NASDAQ continued to push. But this morning I said I was not convinced that an all-time high set on the overnight session was going to hold. And yeah, towards the end of the day, towards the end of the New York session today, the market flushed to the downside. I think there was some news with Trump, right? But it was nasty for sure. And it's been nasty in this, what is it, 40 points here, back and forth, up and down, up and down, up and down. If it's range bound, then I'm going to have to call my trade pretty soon. I don't want to take it all the way back down. I hopped on around here, hoping to get the break out of that 23,000, but not looking pretty. We are in the green right now, but if it's range bound, that really doesn't mean anything if we're just going to flush right back down to this level. So I got to make decisions on this flush to the downside. I was hoping for continuation, just not getting it tonight. We are up right now with one mini. I don't know about adding tonight. With this chop just not convincing me. Might have to wait another hour or two before I even consider adding to this, and probably just leave a position open with a stop with a but I'd like to be further up, or just call it. You know, if we get a nasty flush to the downside, I gotta close it. I'm not gonna play the stop at that point. Yeah, this is a nasty chop. I don't know if this is normal Asia session on a what's it called, Tuesday. But good evening to everyone. Let's see if we get a little bit luck here and continue this push to the upside. We had this flush that I think happened right around the close, around some news. I believe Trump was talking. I wasn't trading, but it looks like that was news related. And then the open, we attempted to push up. We flushed right back down. And then we've been in this nasty range. For good 2 hours now. We're going into 3 hours. I got on a little late today. I was out with the kids grilling and all that good stuff, but finally hopped on. Let's see if we can get some green. As you can see, I have a position at the bottom of this range. After I think after 1, 2, and 3, I finally entered a position somewhere around here to play the breakout. But if it's not a breakout, I'm going to have to close somewhere around here. Still in the green, but not the play that I'm looking for. I definitely won't play a stop all the way down here. I'll take some green here. Herc, since finding your edge, do you often find yourself making minor, major adjustments to fit ever-changing market conditions, or has your trading edge remained the same for some time? Good question. My trading strategy changes with market condition. Sometimes you'll see me play long 30, 40 point plays. Sometimes you'll see me scalp. Sometimes you'll see me use a 20 into 200 SMA. Sometimes you'll see me switch to the 9 EMA for scalping. There is no one winning strategy. You got to have a couple of strategies that work for you for different market conditions. I don't think really there is a winning strategy that applies to every market. Usually when you only have one strategy, what happens is you're going to go through a winning streak, 10, 15 days of a winning streak, and you're going to feel like God. You're like, I just figured out the market. I have the edge. I'm invisible. Then the market shifts and adjusts, and you're still playing that strategy, and then all of a sudden you lose a week or two worth of profits in 1 or 2 days. Why? Because that strategy is not going to work every single time. But I'm a little disappointed with this pump. After this flush, I was really looking for a stronger pump. If we are just range bound in this little box here, that'll be disappointing if I have to take some drawdown down here and close. But it is what it is. If that's what the market wants to do, it's what the market wants to do. I'm hoping for a push up to the 50 area. But I am monitoring this trade at this point. I'm not convinced, and with this nasty chop, there's no reason for me to think that it'll be any different. PPI is tomorrow, yeah. Actually, I may have to buy some cheap evals. Let me just check financial juice. Need some more funded accounts. Yep, PPI tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Well, that's 5:30 my time. So, King Caesar, what's up, brother? How'd you end up doing, man? I was worried about you. I hope you managed to pull yourself into some green this morning. Mike Yusuf, do you ever do counter trend during chop? Yeah, that's my, that's the majority of my scalping is reversal trading or counter trend for scalping. Oh, King Caesar, happens to all of us, brother. It happens to all of us. All right, I gotta charge this phone. So as you can see, I'm in a trade. I'm in at the bottom of that range. In other words, we took the third pullback, and I finally said, all right, if we're range bound, we're gonna have to break at some point. If we break to the downside, then I'll have a tight stop. If we break to the upside, then I got a potential nice trade going. The problem is if we are range bound, then there's no point of getting excited here that we're going to continue. We're just going to come back down and I'll have to close the trade in the green, but not as juicy as I was hoping. And like I said, it's what the market gives us. Right now I'm up, 30 points with 1 mini. If I get the push that I'm looking for, based on this flush to the downside, I mean, if you look at the fib on this, let's take a look at the overall fib. This is a juicy trade as long as we break out to the upside. So I'm targeting the 38. I'm being a little conservative and right under that 38. That's the reason I have that take profit there. So we'll see. We hit the 23, which is the easy first target. I should be close. I should, if I had entered with two minis down here where my entry is, I would have closed the first one around here and then second one. But I didn't enter with 2. I only entered with 1. So that's the reasoning. I'm playing the fib here, but it all depends if this market on this wave decides to pump out. If we need to come back down, then it's unfortunate. Mike, no, rarely do I swing trade the overnight. In other words, leave a take profit and leave a stop and wake up and find out if you hit TP or not. I haven't done that in a long time because the majority of my trading is New York session. I usually trade for the first hour of the New York session. That's when I live stream, 9:15 a.m. Eastern every day. If I'm having a good day, usually I'm done within the first hour. If I'm struggling and stuck in drawdown, I'll probably be there for 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is. But majority of the time, I'm out within the first hour. King Caesar, nicely done using that code, JCDT. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody who's been using that code. Gives you a nice little discount with different props, and you also support the channel, so thank you. You can use code JCDT, I think, on most props at this point. Yeah, this is what I'm not liking. If we are truly range bound and we're just going to come back down, I got to negotiate my take profit on this. The 20 SMA, really? You're going to come down to the 200 again and test it? Is what it is. Or I could leave a stop somewhere down here and just leave this for a couple hours, go to bed and see if I get a 20-point stop or this play that I'm looking for. But based on patterns, right? chart patterns tend to repeat themselves, this is not indicating a breakout. Let's see what happens on this wave. If I'm not convinced, I mean, it's not convincing right now. So what I may have to do is take a little take profit somewhere around here. If it ooh, that's not good. That was a bad wick. Well, let's see. If she continues to push, then we'll get some nice green, and that's what I'm banking on this play at least. So this move to the downside was news related, right? That was basically Trump talking about tariffs again. If the news doesn't hold and it was just knee-jerk reaction, and now we're consolidating here for a potential move during the overnight session to the upside. Question is how many hours and how many times does it need to consolidate in this range, right? Just because we're above it doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't need another wave or a couple of waves that I don't have patience to wait for. I'll have to clip it, and if we are range bound and it needs to come back down, I can re-enter or call it a night. I got some nice green already. I'm up, what is it, 30 points, 600 bucks in the green. Finally figured out how to put the entries on the right hand side for all of you guys that trade on Ninja and Tradeify. So now my entries are on this side. See if this is the breakout in the making. Like I said, I'm not convinced. And at this point, it's had about 10 minutes now after this initial flush to break out. I may have to bring in a take profit stop on this. Where would I put it though? Let's see. Let's let it breathe for a little bit. We are in an ascending channel. Let me take a look at the angle on this channel and see where the breakdown point would be, somewhere around here. So it is testing this level as support, right? If these levels, this was consolidation, was support. Support became resistance and flush, became resistance, resistance, resistance. Resistance is appearing to set up as support. So this level right here, which matches the on the fib that I just showed you guys, the 23 on the fib. The problem is the quick flush, which is what I'm going to watch. So I think I can't get too greedy. I'm not getting the play that I want. So I'm going to have to set a stop right around there and walk out with a little bit of profit. Well, not a little bit. I think it's still like 87, 97, 07. I think it's still like 400, 500 bucks. I'm just not, I don't like this, right? When you're range bound, you can't get excited on a pop out. That could be a look above and fail, and then it just needs to come back all the way down. So why take all that drawdown on the way down? I can be a little aggressive on the TP here for now, grab some profit, wait for the flush or the move to the downside, and then re-enter if I really want to long this again. Looks like my stop or my TP is going to get hit. But I think we're still going to walk out with like 500, 600 bucks. So may call it with that. All right, it is respecting the channel, at least for now, the bottom of that channel, but it is hovering towards the bottom. If we get the play, then I got to negotiate if my TP up here is a little too aggressive and maybe take TP at 42 at the 40 area versus 49. But let's see if we even get there first, right? I will trail the TP at this point. I don't want to give too much of it back. This is a pop, then it needs to behave like a pop. Otherwise, let's grab some profit and worry about an entry on the next setup. Good evening to everyone. If you're new to the stream, my name is JC. I live stream from Arizona, so my time on the charts are 3 hours behind. 3 hours behind New York Eastern. I do New York session mainly every day, 9:15 a.m. Eastern, but I've been hopping on the Asia every now and then, or the after hours. This is the pajama trading session. So welcome to the stream. Hopped on a little late today. Got stuck with the kids out by the pool and grilling and all that good stuff, but finally made it to the stream. Now it's true pajama trading for most of you. This is late. All right, here we go. Here's that push. How far will she go? What I will do is trail that 9 and the bottom of this channel. So either way, we got some green. All right, there she goes. Again, we're playing that fib, the fib level right here. That's what I'm targeting. But it's fading. Okay, so now the middle of this channel is becoming resistance, right? Initially, it was resistance, became support, resistance, and now it looks like we're playing this middle of this channel, and I'm not giving it too much more beyond that. I'm playing the bottom of this channel as my out. If it flushes to test this channel, then my take profit is hit. But again, we're still in the green, and we're going to be nicely in the green, probably like 600 bucks here, I would think. But giving it some room to breathe and see if we get that fib level that I mentioned based on the high of this flush. Right? 26, if I had entered with 2 contracts here, 23 would be the take profit on one, and 38 would be the second one, but I only entered with 1 contract, 1 mini. So if it pulls back to that 23 to test it, then it's okay. I still walk out with profit. But it's struggling up here. I am going to move it, my TP, closer to that 9. In other words, I'm only allowing it to test the 9 and bounce, not to flush below the 9. What are we up? We're about 40 points. Yeah, fortunately, I think it's going to fade out. It'll hit my take profit stop. That's fine. It is what it is. I don't know how long I want to stay on tonight. Holding for an extra 10, 15 points. you're new to the stream, do me a favor, help me out with the YouTube algo. Smash that if you're enjoying the content. Smash that like, hit that subscribe button. And I'll be doing this every morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. And I do the Asia session every now and then. But I think I want to do it every day this week. It's going to be my challenge. Can I do Asia every day this week? We'll see. All right. The good thing is if we do break out of this, right, we got very weak market structure, right? This is weak structure. This is news structure. That needs to be repaired. If the bulls are going to push this up, they need to repair this weak structure, which makes the movements through this quicker. Not necessarily tonight. Whenever it does happen, usually when you're repairing market structure, you'll ladder up pretty quickly. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to happen in the next 20 minutes or an hour. It could happen in like 5 hours if the bulls decide to recover from this news push to the downside. Because this was all tariff talk. So we're testing the high of this session, right? This is where it opened. We opened and we popped up to 34. It's struggling. What I need to watch, well, I'm still going to get green even if it flushes. What we need to watch is this the overnight high and there's a potential move to the downside tonight? Because it's struggling here, I'm surprised it's struggling at this area if it's already been hit once at the open. You would think if the bulls are going to push this, they're just going to push through. What you got to be careful with is, does this become the overnight high? And then tomorrow we wake up down here somewhere and we never were able to push above the push right at the open. All right, I'm going to start moving this stop, slowly creeping it up. I'm not liking how it's behaving there at the 9. That'd be giving up 7 points. I'm okay. Still some nice green. You got two things. You're either going to flush and get my TP and I walk out with green, or you're going to continue. One of the two. But I'm not getting greedy. Although I do have a golden entry for, in other words, if the bulls are going to play this, my entry is pretty rock solid, assuming this is the overnight low and we wake up, with the bulls riding this. That would mean I would have to tolerate some drawdown. In other words, coming back, testing, and then finally pushing up. I don't know if I have the patience for that. But this entry, assuming this is the overnight low, is pretty rock solid down here. Assuming it's the overnight low. All right, we're up, about close to 35, 40 points on 1 mini. I'm playing this ascending channel. And I'm only allowing it to touch it, and any flush out of that channel, my TP gets hit. I'm targeting that fib level that I talked about. Could be aggressive. We'll see. Either way, I walk out with green. But if I were to play this, just go to bed and leave a stop, I'd probably leave a stop. I wouldn't even entertain this low. I'd probably give it a stop of 30 points. Or if I look at the chart, figure out where the next level is. Yeah, around 65. So a stop around 65 and just let that thing play out all night. I might wake up with some nice green, but I just don't have the patience for that. I just don't have the patience for that. Look at you, other JC, you and your fibs on your fair value gaps. That's one thing I haven't learned is ICT and their fair value gaps. I know they're very, if you learn how to trade those things, they're profitable. I just don't. All right, not liking this. Not liking this. It's struggling here. It's starting to top. Like I said, I'm surprised. We should have had stronger movement to the upside because it's literally testing the high at the open, right? At the Globex open, 301. Yeah, this is 301 p.m. Arizona, so that's 6 p.m. Eastern. We pushed right here to 34, and then we flushed all the way back down to 75. And I'm surprised we're not getting more fireworks here, which tells me that this area could be the overnight high, and tomorrow we wake up somewhere down here. I'm bull biased based on the knee-jerk reaction with the news. In other words, the news has to hold, right? We didn't continue. The bears had their chance to continue with this catalyst. They were only able to push it down, I don't know what, 29, about 40, 50 points after the Trump tariff news on this. And looks like we're coming back to bounce area. That's the only reason I'm still entertaining this move to the upside, but I'm only giving it this 20 SMA as pullback. The bears had their chance. We've been talking about this 23,000 to 800 range, right? This big range that you see here, this range that's highlighted in yellow. I've been talking about that range in the New York session for 2.5 weeks. This is going to be week 3. We've been in this range for 3 weeks, playing up and down, up and down, up and down. And the Nvidia news yesterday pushed us out of that, right? And we came up and tested all-time highs during the overnight last night. But New York, I said it this morning, whenever you have the overnight session set an all-time high, the odds of that all-time high holding are low. And that played out pretty lovely today. It just didn't hold. It flushed. And we came back into this range, which is crazy. We're back into this 22,800 to 23,000 range again. I would think the bulls do not want to entertain hanging out here too long, and they're simply going to push this right back up and possibly recover this flush tonight. But I don't have all night. I want it now. All right, looks like we're failing here. I think we're going to get the pop out of that channel, and it'll close me. I'm also going to be moving, not negotiating, not giving up profits at this point. See profit, take profit. If it wants to flush out of that channel, go ahead, hit my TP. I walk out in the green either way. So it's a win-win for me now. We're just playing this channel. How long is it going to hold? Based on this entry. What I don't want to entertain right now is another flush somewhere down here and then the bounce. Not interested. I'll take my TP now. If we do need to come back down, then I'll consider another entry somewhere down here, or even if it comes back to test the low of this range, I have no problem entertaining another long down there. So we're about 40 points in the green right now with one mini. I do have a tight take profit based on this ascending channel. When the channel fails, I hit TP. If the channel doesn't fail, I'm going over after that fib level that I showed you guys up here at the 49. Let me just double check that 49 is not too aggressive on the fib. I'm below it. Do I need to be a little lower? Let's watch it. Let's worry about it when we're up closer to that fib level. Had I entered with 2 contracts, my first TP would have been 23, right around where I'm at right now, and second TP would have been here, but I didn't enter with 2 contracts. Ooh, I almost closed it. That would not have been good. All right. It is slow, but it's not flushing either. When it gets this slow, this is when you see a nasty candle like this and just flushes down. But it's all right. Like I said, I'll hit take profit. I'm going to trail this a little higher. As it climbs up, as that channel climbs up, I'm moving my TP further up. Not giving back too much of that. No need to. We're playing a breakout. We're not playing consolidation. So we'll ride the channel until it fails. All right, can you give us a little pop? If you give me a pop to this area, I'll close. Give me a pop here. Give me a pop to this area and I'll close. The move is fading. I don't know if it's going to get me. I still have it at 7. I'm only allowing 7 points to come back down, and it'll hit my take profit. So I still walk out with the green. I'm even if it closes at 23, it's still about 35 points. I'm okay with that. So it just wicked and touched the 20 SMA. It gave us a minor bounce, but not a convincing bounce. But the channel was respected, still being respected. It's when the channel fails, then my take profit gets hit right here. And we go to bed. We call it a night. As long as this channel holds, we good. We're good. But I do see a little bit of topping behavior here. It needs to pop. Give me the pop here and I'll close. Promise. I promise I'll close. Give me a pop. It's looking like it wants to pop. There you go. Pop. There you go. Give us that pop. There you go. Now my TP moves all the way up here. Give us the pop. You need to get out of that range, right? We're talking about that 22,800 to 23,000 range. Bulls don't want to come back to this. They want to push out. I don't know if they're going to do it tonight or in this wave, but bulls do not want to be in this yellow range that you see me highlighted here. All right, she's struggling. She's struggling. But the next part of it would start to enter the weak structure. Right now you start entering this area. Now you just hit the high set right at the open, at the Globex open. If you can get over 838, then you got weak market structure after that, right? At that point, you just start stair-stepping. Who knows? Might get lucky. Nah, wishful thinking. Struggling up here. It's stopping. So what it's looking like is it's struggling to go over the current session high. It tested the current session high, and now we're taking a little rejection. So that could be an indicator that it needs a stronger pullback, or that we're seeing the overnight high as we speak. And then tomorrow when we wake up for New York session, you know, we're down here somewhere in the 800s or lower. USIV, you're aiming for 100 overnight, 100 level, or $100? Well, the good thing is if it closes here, what is it? I'm at 800. It might even close around $750 or $800 in profit if it closes here. Oh, level. Okay. Oh, you're going for 23,100. I get you. Yep. Listen, I think the bulls want to get out of that range. I just don't have the patience to stay, and it looks like we're falling out of that channel. And my take profit will get hit. If the channel holds, then it continues to push. I'll play the chart. It's what the market does, not what I want it to do. I may close right around 800. I'm at 811 right now. 800 bucks for the night. I think I'm good. Oh, the channel holds. Which is good, but it also needs to pop at this point. Otherwise, it's only a matter of time before you see the flush. Wow, they're not letting it go. Okay. Yusuf, what was your entry? Yeah, you're going after the higher fib. Like I said, I think that's a good play overnight. Because my entry, I mean, I'm not bragging here, but because my entry is pretty rock solid down here. If it was another day or another night, I would probably just set a stop somewhere in the 65 area and let that thing run all the way up to 100. But not tonight. All right, looks like we are going to get TP now. It's still, I'm still walking out with 800 bucks, so I'm okay with that. I'm at 816, 811 right now. That's 1 or 2 points. That's still 800 bucks. Oh no, probably like 750. It is setting higher lows, right? Higher low, higher low. Can this be the higher low? I'm just being very tight on this. I'm not negotiating it because I don't want to be stuck here for the rest of the night waiting to come back up. Looks like it's holding. It's holding up there. Come on. Push. I would entertain another long if we come back down here. I'll take my TP now, but I'm not entering until I see a stronger pullback. So the 20 and the 200 now are about to cross. That's usually when you see a reversal, right? They have now crossed, and that's usually the indicator that this move is over, at least the wave is over, and then we'll take a pullback. Like I said, I still walk out with some green, baby. If they build support around the 20 and the 200, it could play both ways, right? It could play as now they merge an area of confluence to build support. If the bulls really want this tonight, then they use this area of confluence as support and they continue their move up. But they got to do it without hitting my TP. Otherwise, I'm done. Don't have the patience to be on this all night. Mike Yusuf, 23,005. Okay, you got a good entry here. You're right below the 200 SMA. Even if this price comes back down and tests this area, which most likely it will, you still have a bounce opportunity. So that's a good entry. That's the whole thing is I don't want to entertain a pullback being this much in the green. It could come back down and test the 200 SMA. But do I really want to give all this up and then spend another 3 hours or literally go to bed with a TP, with a stop 30 points below my entry and a TP all the way at 100 and wake up in the morning with either stop or TP hit? You know, it's just, I just don't trade it that way. But yeah, that's a solid entry. I would hold that. Do you prefer the 220 over others? Yeah, I mainly use the 200 and the 20 SMA. Lately, because of how the market is moving, I've added the 9 EMA for scalping. 9 EMA is way better for scalping. It's just lately the market's not moving as quick, especially New York session. We're just not seeing those movements. We see a quick directional move right at the open, and then we fall back down. I mean, we slow back down, right? So I've been using the 9 more. But it's not the only strategy. I use pivot points, VWAP, levels. You just saw my Fibonacci. I use, there's a couple tools to the arsenal. All right, so like I said, the 20 and the 200 just crossed here. That's usually an indicator of that reversal. And I think at this point, it's going to take a pullback, which I'll take profit here and walk out with probably around 750 bucks in the green. That's okay. We'll call it a night there, at least for now. And if I am going to enter another long, I'll probably wait for the test of the 200 and see how pricing reacts to the 200. If we're going to flush below, then I'll have to wait for maybe this area again to re-enter. All right, we got TP there. So 700 bucks in the green now. Let's close this. Where did my trade go? All right, so again, anytime you see that cross, right, the 20 and the 200, that's usually your indicator of some type of pullback or a reversal. It doesn't mean it has to be a market's going to crash. It's just the wave is over. Let's see how far we take this pullback. I would assume it needs to test 17 area, this area right here. If it gets attracted to the 200 SMA, then it'll flush right through and touch it. And then if I really want to go long again, what time is it? 7 o'clock here in Arizona. Okay, so again, the 20 and the 200 basically signaled exactly what was going to happen. They crossed and flush. And that's what I was saying. I'm not willing to take drawdown on that position. If I was going to stay here up all night or leave it open all night, then I probably would, but no, I'm a scalper. I want to see profit take profit. All right, let's see how far we go down on this. I would think, well, we just tested the level that I said, the 17. You got VWAP and 200 SMA down here. I would wait for the entire wave to the downside to play out. If it's just going to bounce using the prior resistance area, right? Resistance, 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 support. If this little wick to test these resistance areas became support and we just get the bounce there, then that's pretty much it. The bulls will pick it up from here and continue to push up. If they need to test this range again, the range we've been in, I would think they need to test VWAP and 200 SMA. But so far they tested prior resistance and it held, right? Right, this was a consolidation area, became resistance, resistance. We pushed above resistance, came back and tested it, became support. Now we came back, and for now, it needs to hold as support. Otherwise, it fails and we go back into the range. But I won't enter a long waiting to find out if it's support. I'll need a stronger pullback. Why is my trade not showing? All right, we'll worry about that tomorrow morning. I will be back tomorrow morning, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. This is week 4 of my live stream journey. We've had ups and downs. We've had easy days. We've had one and done trades. We've had multiple trades in the red. We've had tilt days. We've had a little bit of everything in these last 4 weeks. But it's my journey live streaming. Mainly, like I said, I do the New York session 9:15 a.m. Eastern, so you guys are welcome to join. Asia, this week, I want to do it every day. I want to do this every day this week. Who knows, maybe I'll do both sessions on a daily for a while. Not like I have much to do other than trade now. But the less I stay exposed to the market, the better. That's why New York, I try to get it done within 1 hour and run for the hills. The longer you stay fooling around trading, the longer you expose yourself to losses. All right, slow down significantly. Let's see if we get a stronger pullback. I'd entertain a long somewhere around a 200 SMA test. If we flush, then I'd entertain something around here. In other words, re-entering where I had my original entry. Otherwise, if it's just going to slow down, then I'll hang out for another half hour or something and figure out. What I won't do is I will not enter a long above the breakout level. I'd have to wait for a stronger pullback. For that, if I'm going to enter on a long here, then I should not have closed it. I should have held to continue to the upside. Now, if I was in scalping mode, then yeah. Why is the trade not working? Not showing. Settings. Visual trading. Set to show trades. Quantar. Freaking thing acts up every now. All right, let's continue to watch this. See how far we go down. If this resistance level holds, then we'll see the bounce here. However, I don't think we're done with this wave to the downside. I would think it wants to test the 200 and VWAP again, which is around 23,000. Yusuf, Mike, so I'm assuming you you hold your positions overnight. I gotta try that. I haven't done it in a long time. King Caesar is long. His target is 23.55. All right, you're going even higher than I wanted to. All right, 10 micros. Wow. I like it. I might join you guys on that long if we come and test the 200. If we see a quick little flush to stop all you guys out, then I'll enter down here. Ideally, I'd enter around 90, 95. This would be my entry. An exaggerated flush below the 200, and then the ripper. I'm talking about a ripper during Asia. I don't even know if Asia has rippers. All right, so it looks like the bounce area was this area right here, right? Resistance, 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 resist, support. We tested it and it held. Now, last night's ripper was news. I'm talking about rippers without news. New York session, you get a flush of 100 points, and then you get a ripper for another 100 points without any news going on. The video was last night's ripper was news. Blessed Profits. Rise is not able to verify my address using my utility bill. Send in your bank statement. Bank statements. Credit card, checking account, anything that has the address. All right, this is my next trade. I'll wait for this area around the 200 SMA. Could be wishful thinking. The bulls may have pushed themselves out of this range, and it's over with. Now they just tested the high of this resistance area at 23.16, and now working their way up. So could be the end of that. Oh, they're ripping. They're ripping. They're pushing. The bank statement did not work either. What are they responding to you, Blessed Profits? What are they saying is the issue? Usually it's because your full name does not match what you're sending. Ooh, look at his ripper. 10-point ripper. Look at that. 10 points. Yeah, make sure the spelling of the account, your name on the account, matches exactly what you send for verification. In general, even with prop firms, when you sign up with a prop, make sure your full name and address, if they ever require you to send in KYC, matches exactly. That's usually where you have issues with KYC. Nicely done, Caesar. Manny, what's up? Yeah, this is interesting. The Globex Open topped right at 33, right here, and we've attempted once, twice. We pulled back, but we're not getting that pop. We didn't get it where I wanted it. So if we're going to push above this, you're going to see a quick pop. Otherwise, we may be in for a stronger pullback. That other JC green, 130 bucks on all accounts. Very nice. Nicely done. Maybe I should switch to micros and play around with micros tonight. Let me see what happens here first, and then if it pulls back stronger, I'll start setting up a position with micros for the upside. But I need a stronger pullback. Opportunity awaits. What's up? How you doing, brother? You're in for a long. I just closed my long. I had an entry right here at 9. I had a beautiful entry, actually. I'm a little upset that I closed it. I was in at 980. Let's call it 990, but I think I was 985. I think I was in at 985 and I closed, I think at 28. No, I think I closed at 25. Got nice 35 points on that one. So I'm done, at least for now. 35 points on a mini made my night. Yeah, I'm going to wait for a pullback. If we get a pullback, I'll start building a position with micros tonight. I'd like to see it. I'll test 2 micros here at the 200. If we flush below the 200, then I'll enter another 2 here. And as we build, as we pump, then I'll start adding. If we flush, then I'll close. I'll close at the bottom of this wick. But I need a stronger flush. I don't trade micros a lot, but since I'm in the green, I'll entertain some micros. King Caesar is long, my king scalper. King Caesar is the king scalper of this stream. All right, she slowed down a lot. Opportunity awaits. Yeah, man. I think this was a knee-jerk reaction to Trump talking about tariffs right around the close today. So I don't think this news is going to hold. I think for the swing traders that are putting in longs in this area or already placed their longs in this range, it's not too late. I mean, you're going to take some pullbacks, but I think any long in this area, as long as you're willing to hold overnight for about 4 or 5 hours, this is pretty weak market structure. I think that's going to be repaired tonight, and you'll have a nice little grind up and down, and we'll wake up over here. The only issue I'm seeing is if the Globex Open established the overnight high and they're unable to push above this, then tomorrow we may wake up down here. Everyone's banking on the long playing the reversal of this flush on the news. Everyone's long right now, right? The market knows that too. Logic would say that you're going to get the bounce tonight. The only issue I see is we are struggling to push above the Globex Open high, which is right here. We tapped it once. We're hovering around it. So we'll see. Yeah, the King Caesar, your risk is the 200. I'm waiting for the touch of the 200. That's what I'll do is I'll enter here. And give myself a wide stop, and I'll start adding some micros. If we do get the flush to the 200, I'll start the position there with micros. I'll add as we build this little movement to the upside. If the bounce happens here and we're just going to push from here on, then it is what it is. The only thing, like I said right now, is we've been unable to push above the Globex Open high. We've had 1, 2, 3 attempts. We're hovering there. We'll see. Definitely slow. Guess we'll be chit-chatting for a while. Unfortunately, it does look like it needs to come back down, potentially touch the 200 in VWAP. At that point, I'll be interested somewhere around here. What time frame is that? This is the New York session time frame. This is the 1 minute. I keep forgetting I should put it on either the 2 or even the 5 minute for the Asia. It's so slow. I'm so used to the 1 minute on New York that, plus I look at the 5, the 15, and the 30 on the screens up here. But since I mainly trade New York session, I'm on the 1 minute. You guys are probably like, what is he doing on the 1 minute on the Asia? And you're right. You don't need the 1 minute on Asia. But it's what I trade here in New York. King Caesar, 1 minute and 1 second. I actually, during New York, I watched the 1 minute and the 10 second. The 10 second will give you the clue of reversals. As long as movements are quick. If it's slow, it's not going to work. That's why I've had to use the 9 EMA recently for scalping during New York session. Nasty NASDAQ, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? stuck. It's stuck. In the meantime, if you're enjoying the stream, you're new, smash that like for me, please. Hit subscribe. I trade nasty NASDAQ every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And I'm doing Asia every now and then. This week, I want to do Asia every day. I want to try micros a little more. I'm used to trading minis with the New York, but I could see during the Asia session, you can build a little position with some micros over time. George Panos, welcome to the stream, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. Like I was saying, I mainly trade New York session, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, nasty NASDAQ, NQ Futures, but I am starting to live stream here at night for some pajama trading. So welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here, brother. All right, let's see how far we get this pullback. If we can get it to the 200, I'll entertain some micros. King Caesar, the only reason your trade is good, the only problem is if we're going to, if it needs to test VWAP and 200, you would have to absorb this drawdown. That's all, which is not an issue as long as you understand that you have to give yourself a wider stop. You can't put the stop at VWAP in the 200 because that may be the bounce that it needs. That's why I'd rather wait for this to flush down here or exaggerate it and then enter with a stop down here. Now, if we are going to flush tonight, based on what I've been saying, that we opened, we pushed up to 20 to 34, and we've been unable to push above that. We tapped it, trapping some longs, or everybody getting excited on that breakout. I just hope this doesn't become the overnight high, and then tomorrow we wake up down here. Which at the end of the day, we'll trade it. We don't care, but I was hoping that the bulls would push this tonight to the upside. Yeah, King Caesar, it's moving slower for sure. So far, I got my only trade of the night, and I may be calling it a night as well. 35 points on one mini. I'm okay with that trade. Big Caesar hates slow markets. It's because you and I love the nasty NASDAQ during New York. If you're new to the stream, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Like I said, I live stream every morning, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. That's where I have fun, nasty NASDAQ. Lately, I've been doing the Asia session, my little pajama trading session, so welcome to the stream. We'll do both this week, but mainly I do New York, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. King Caesar, good stuff, man. That is the way to do it. Walk away, brother. JCD just passed accounts off shorts. Good stuff, brother. Algo Box Trading, welcome to the stream. If I could pick any account from any company and it didn't matter which account would you buy? Well, it depends on your level. If you're still blowing accounts, go with the cheapest. You're going to blow it anyway, so go with the cheapest. The name of the company, the logo, the marketing doesn't matter, right? At that point, you're trying to buy the cheapest account for the most drawdown. Or in other words, what's the max loss limit that you have before you blow the account? if you're in that stage. If you're already passing accounts and you're interested in making money and getting your profit, I would probably go with the accounts that pay right now, with the prop firms that are paying right now. Tradeify, Take Profit Trader are great prop firms. Tradeify pays within 15 minutes. I've had no issues with my payouts with Take Profit Trader. Sorry, with Tradeify and Take Profit Trader. I've taken payouts with them, and they're usually 24 hours max. The best rules, again, also depends on the consistency rule. Take Profit Trader, I think, probably has the most flexible rules. You got a 50% consistency rule. You got no daily loss limit, end of day drawdown. I like Take Profit Trader. Tradeify, I believe, is 30% on their evals. I don't do evals on Tradeify. I do their straight to funded, but straight to funded on Tradeify is 20%. If you're not interested in straight to funded accounts, then I think Take Profit Trader is probably the leader right now. No question about it. 50% consistency rule, no daily loss limit, and no issues with payouts. Why not? Plus, you get code JCDT to get your 40% discount right now. Not only do you get a discount, but you help support the channel. All right, guys, this is really, really slow. TPT changes to intraday when you get to your pro, and then it goes back to end of day when it goes to pro plus. You're right. The markets aren't consistent. Yeah, man. That's why we're addicted to this, right? That's why we trade this every single time. That's why we lose big time and come back the next day like nothing. Day traders. Is day traders good? I haven't had issues. I haven't heard issues with day traders. The only thing with day traders is 3 payouts and they move you to live pretty quickly. They take you out of the sim environment pretty quickly. But I don't think they have Tradeivate. It's only Rhythmic, and I believe they have a Project X version now. I don't trade on Project X, but I believe Day Traders does have Project X. When the accounts that I do have with Day Traders are Rhythmic. All right, let's see if we get pullback to this area, and I'll entertain an entry here. Otherwise, I think I got my trade for the night. You guys saw it live here, 35 points on a mini. We good. Nate, I'm thinking trade day messed up. I have an intraday. The drawdown remains static. Haven't tested this theory with a big drawdown, but just saying, saw this on Fast Track. Trade day has intraday, end of day, and static, right? Intraday, well, if you got lucky, then your drawdown stayed static. I use Quantower, Marco. I use Quantower because I copy trade my Rhythmic accounts on Quantower, and I use Tradesyncer. I use Tradesyncer to copy trade from Quantower to my Tradeivate accounts. Although you guys see one account here, I'm usually copy trading 25 plus accounts between funded and evals every day. I don't rotate accounts. I usually copy trade them all at once. All right, so here we're getting the flush, that 200 touch and VWAP that we were talking about. I may start a position with micros. What time is it? Ugh, it's already 7:40 here. Yeah, every prop firm has its own rules. Every prop firm makes it up as they go. It's a little annoying, but it's their house, their rules, and we just gotta adjust. Find what works for you and milk them, milk those payouts. Create a cheat sheet. I have a cheat sheet that I use for every prop firm. I have consistency rule, the time that I need to close my trades, days to pass, and I literally have a little sheet of paper with every single prop that I copy trade. That way I know where I'm at with each one. Because yes, it can get annoying and cumbersome, but cheat sheets work pretty well if you're copy trading. If you're only trading one prop firm, then it doesn't really matter. You know the rules for that specific prop firm, and you're just trading that one. If you're multi-prop, you need a cheat sheet, or if you got good memory, know the consistency rule for each one as you trade. Because I trade Apex, I've switched all of my trading for all props to follow the Apex rules. Because I can't be in a trade and say, oh, I got to close this one, but keep this prop firm open. I literally use 30% consistency rule for all of my accounts, regardless of the prop firm, and it works fine. Your trading cheat sheet or your funding cheat sheet. The easiest way to do it is grab one prop firm and mirror the same rules to the rest. Apex works perfectly because Apex is pretty tight rules as it is. I apply the 30% consistency rule to even take profit trader because I copy trade them all at once. I don't rotate accounts. Well, so far it looks like I got my one and done trade. I'm up about $700 across each account, and you guys saw that one live. I'm debating whether I want to enter here at the 200 or wait for a stronger pullback. How many days to pass evals in day traders? I thought day traders was 5 days, isn't it? Let's find out. 4 trading days. 4 trading days for daytraders.com. And they don't need to be consecutive. Exactly. Yeah, this area right here, unless we're looking for a stronger flush, I may long this pretty soon. I'm waiting for how far we're going to flush below the 200 for a long. Looks like it's flushing. But I also got my trade of the night already. I don't know how much I want to trade. Being in the green already. What are you going to do, nasty NASDAQ? Yeah, usually if I have, again, because I copy trade and I don't rotate accounts, if I have one trade like today's, I entered, well, you guys saw it. Well, if you weren't tuned in, I had an entry right around here and I exited for about 30, 32 points. And I'm waiting for this area. I may entertain the same entry if we come back and test this. If we're just range bound and we're just going to come back and test, I may enter again. Yusuf, you're at 05. You entered at 05, right? I think you mentioned that your entry is right here for 05. Nasty NASDAQ, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue to flush? Let's go. They want to test that 23,000 area again. Slow down significantly now. Algo box. That's huge trade. How many accounts are you currently copied to? Not trading the full book. Only 5 accounts tonight. New York, though, I do copy trade them all. All 25 plus accounts. Marco, my strategy? I don't know. If it goes down, go long. If it goes up, go short. I mainly use the 20 and the 200 SMA along with pivot points, VWAP, and support and resistance levels from higher time frames. Although you're looking at this chart, I do have other charts that I look at. Dennis, I appreciate it. I appreciate the compliment. What I would recommend is watch different streamers, learn different strategies, and find the strategy that works for you. At the end of the day, trading is going to be personality based. Doesn't matter who you watch, what course you pay for. You're going to adjust it to your personality anyways. And you got to find what you're comfortable in terms of strategies that doesn't drive you crazy. This is slow. We had some nice little action here, and that was it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Are we going to flush further down, or is this it? VWAP touch and a bounce. This is slow. All right, how long have we been on? About an hour and a half. I may have to call it pretty soon. This is slower than I wanted it to. And plus, we got a nice little trade. You guys saw that live. Live to trade another day. And I'll be on tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern, trading New York. Win, lose, or draw. And I'll be back tomorrow for the Asia session, or the after hours, overnight. I'll see if I can hop on the overnight every day this week, but mainly New York is going to be my focus. 9:15 a.m. Eastern every morning. If you're new to the stream, do me a favor. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like, smash that subscribe button, and more importantly, hit that notification bell so you get notified when I post content. Donald, I haven't seen you, buddy. If I remember correctly, you're out here in AZ as well. Donald, 22,990 will be the bottom, but it's going to take 16 minutes. All right, I'm going to set the alarm clock. 990 is the level that I had entered originally. If you guys were watching the stream earlier, you saw my entry here, and I exited for about 35 points. Actually, a little more than that. Not sure why. I wouldn't mind coming back down. In other words, we're just range bound and we come back down to test this area and enter a long. But am I going to stay on all night for that? Probably not. Probably not. $85, yeah. I had a gold. I said it on stream. You guys saw when I the entry I had here at 85. I was debating whether, because it was such a good entry, I said, well, we know we're going to get a pullback. I can set a stop around the 65 area and just leave it overnight, but it's not my style. I'm not going to make it up tonight and just leave a position for a couple hours. So I closed at 35 points, but other than that, it's been pretty slow. I'll take a look at it, Donald. Thank you. Yep, I like it. I like it. The problem is, how many hours does that trade have to be open during the overnight? I just saw it, Donald. Yep. No, I like the trade. It's just I don't think I have the patience tonight to leave it overnight. Maybe with one account. Oh. All right, here we go. Here's that testing VWAP again. All right, here we go. Let's see if we get a stronger flush to test the bottom of this range. Looks like we're just range bound, at least for now then. Boom, 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 boom. Or just call it a night. And I think that's probably going to be the best option. If you guys trade New York, I'll be on tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern, win, lose, or draw. If you trade the overnight only, I'll be on this week. See you guys tomorrow. If you're new to the stream and you're enjoying the content, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe. And I will see you all tomorrow. If you're in the green, lock in that profit. If you're in the red, don't kill yourself tonight. All right, guys. Peace. Have a good night.